We're live.
You're frozen. We live with Reparations Rap, my brother. Well, I guess we
I
live.
still
All I'm doing is looking at your face. So we're working out these techie stuff. I'm Nkechi Taifa, y'all. This is my co-host, Matsimela, Reverend Mark Thompson. Reverend Mark, you there? Unfreeze yourself, dude. I don't even know if you can hear me. Okay, so I'm going to have to carry on this thing by myself. It's all good. So we are launching Reparations Rap. It's just a little platform for us to just rap, stream of consciousness. No script, no presentation, just rap, just stream of consciousness, you know? So I'm Nkechi Taifa. I'm sister in the struggle. Been out here for a long time dealing with the issue of reparations. You've probably seen some stuff that I've posted, over the past, I don't know how many years, loads of years. But hey, welcome. Okay, welcome to Reparations. I don't know what happened to Mark Thompson. He says to hold on. I'm not quite sure if I'm live, but I'm going to just go on and rock and roll. Let me tell you, this issue, reparations, is an issue whose time has come. Little did I realize when I started working on this issue way back in the, I don't even know when it was, in the early 70s, in the very early 70s, like around 1970, actually. Little did I know that I would one day be in company of some of the leading experts on this issue. Well, excuse me, also 2020 candidates vying for the Democratic nomination. I mean, it's like pop, 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 pop. Every time I look up, there's another jurisdiction established some type of a task force or a commission to look inside their own backyards, to look inside their own caskets and find out what is happening and to seek to redress. We're talking about we're in a time of reckoning, y'all. We are in a time of reckoning. Brother Mark Thompson, Reverend Mark, are you back? Okay, so I guess it's refresh your browser. Oh, Lord. Now you're going to have me do something techie here. Refresh the browser. So it looks like we're live back again. Nkechi Taifa. I'm not quite sure when we went frozen or when we're totally live now, but I am back. I've still been talking about reparations. Remember, Mark? I don't know whether we were on air. I don't know if we were live. I don't know if we were dead. I don't know where we were. I don't know if we were frozen. I don't know if we were hot. Tell me, what were we? So you still frozen, my brother. Okay, so this white man's techie stuff ain't working for this reparations, you know? I need some reparations to go back to school to learn this stuff because this is the wave of the future. Hello. You know, y'all stream live, it's all good, but I need to go back to my old fashioned Zoom because I know Zoom. I'm the Zoom queen. I don't know about all this stuff we got going on up here now. So everyone can see and hear you. Okay, everyone, if you can see and hear me, man, hope you like what you see. You like my bookcase back there? I don't know if you can see that. Okay. Well, y'all can just look at me. Matsimela did that flyer, and I don't know where you put that great big old picture of me up there. That was not my doing. I can assure you of that. Okay, he said Wi-Fi is killing us. Okay. Am I live? Okay. I said, am I live? I wrote him a text. I don't know if I'm live or I'm dead or I'm frozen. I feel like just breaking up into a poem or something. Oh, it says I am live. This is embarrassing. Oh, golly. He tells me to keep talking. I swear, this was not my doing. Okay, so let me tell you, I've done a lot of speaking about reparations throughout the years, but I would say there's been more activity on reparations in the past 2 years than there's been in the past 40 some years that I've been dealing with. I am a founding member of NCOBRA, the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America. I remember that founding meeting in September of 1987 when the call came out for black folk and Pan-Africanists and black nationalists across the country to come to DC to talk about building a movement, to talk about building a reparations movement. I mean, I've been in these movements for a long time. We were fringe, and it was decided on this issue of reparations that we were going to spread out and try to mainstream it. And I also was with an organization, National Conference of Black Lawyers, and with NCBL, with the Republic of New Africa, with Dorothy Lewis's Black Reparations Commission. There were other groups, the People's Organization, the African National Reparations Organization was around, Black United Front. You know, folk came from all different parts of the Black experience to say, we want to deal with this issue and we want to come together in unity. Okay, we all had our different ideologies and all like that, but we were united with respect to the issue of reparations. This was during the time when the Japanese American Redress Bill was beginning to make its way through Congress. And in 1988, that bill passed as the Civil Liberties Act of 1988. And it granted $20,000 to each Japanese American detention camp survivor, a trust fund to be used to educate Americans about the sufferings of the Japanese during World War II, a formal apology from the U.S. government, and a pardon for all those who resisted detention camp internment. And we at NCOBRA, National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America, looked around and said, excuse me, they just passed reparations for the Japanese Americans? What about us? And so we strategically decided that if we went the same route that the Japanese Americans went with respect to reparations, then there is no way whatsoever that the United States government could deny the quest for reparations for Black folk in the United States. So we work very closely with Congressman John Conyers and his staff with respect to the bill, which later became known as H.R. 40, the Commission to Study Reparation Proposals for African Americans Act. And that bill started out with a commission to study the issue. When Ta-Nehisi Coates interviewed me decades later for his article that came out in the Atlantic. At that time, it was just a study commission. And I said, what's the big deal? All we're talking about is studying. The problem is we studied it for over 30 years. Over 30 years, and it still was just a study. And at that time, there was so many law review articles written. There were so many books out there on the table. There was so much information out there. So it was no longer a need to determine whether, in fact, reparations was due, but actually to begin to develop those proposals. But I want to go back to that founding of NCOBRA and when the first reparations commission bill that became HR 40 was introduced. I'm telling you, all the Black folk, even within NCOBRA, were not of one mind with respect to the strategy. Back then, we were saying, "Why we got to study this issue?" Okay, there were parts of the Black struggle that was talking about separation. 5 states in the Deep South. You read my memoir, Black Power, Black Lawyer. You know what I'm talking about. There were other folk who were talking about other things. Other folk who were talking about other things. Other people were saying, we need our reparations now. Reparations now. But it finally was decided and agreed to go the route that the Japanese Americans went and establish this commission to study the issue, and then it will make recommendations to Congress. So then let's fast forward to 2017, around the time when Congressman John Conyers, who introduced the bill, held that banner up high all of those years, buttressed by reparations. Ray Jenkins from Detroit, who kept that issue in front of Conyers year after year, buttressed by brother President Mario Bedelli of the Republic of New Africa, who supplemented his independence politics for the greater good to bring more people into the movement. Queen Mother Dorothy Lewis, Queen Mother Otley Moore, Sister Ajua Ayatoro. I mean, these were some of the early stalwarts of the reparations. It was Brother Kalanji, Olusegun. I mean, we have people who are ancestors right now at this time. Mama Nia Kuumba, Mama Merlin Killingham, Kabibi Tahimba, Watala. I mean, I'm just saying these were the early days of NCOBRA, in the reparations movement. So again, we want fast forward. When NARC, National African American Reparations Commission, was founded, and it brought together folk from NCOBRA, Cam Howard, who's male co-chair of NCOBRA, myself, Joanne Watson, Queen Mother Joanne Watson from Detroit, who actually worked on John Conyers' staff in Detroit, who was a city council person, who was the radio talk show host of the popular Detroit show, Wake Up Detroit. She was there back then in those days as well. But also, all of us came together as part of the National African American Reparations Commission. And it was determined we had studied this issue enough, okay? And we worked with John Conyers once again to update the bill from just a study commission, but actually a remedy bill to study and develop proposals for reparations. So that's where we stand now. And then Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee took the reins after Congressman Conyers' retirement, and it's just been going uphill ever since then. You got so many jurisdictions establishing these commissions. This wasn't the first time. I mean, jurisdictions back in the early 90s when NCOBRA was really rocking and rolling with getting the word out across the country were coming on board, not necessarily supporting reparations, but supporting the idea of a federally chartered commission to study the issue. So we had jurisdictions all over the country coming on board with respect to that. But then again, within the last 2 years, people have moved from just supporting a commission to actually establishing their own commissions. And it's not just the federal government. The state of California modeled a commission off of HR 40. And they have already appointed their commissioners to look in California's own backyard. Okay. Assemblyman Charles Barron, revolutionary Pan-Africanist assemblyman in New York, just passed through the New York Assembly a reparations bill to actually provide remedy to folk in New York. Again, that has to pass the Senate, but the first step has been there. In Illinois City, Alderman Robin Ruth Simmons creatively looked around and saw all this money, tax money, that was about to come into Evanston as a result of the illegal cannabis industry, and said, look, there's been a serious issue in the Black community in Evanston in terms of drugs, in terms of marijuana. 71% of the people were Black with respect to marijuana offenses. They discovered very serious issues with redlining in that jurisdiction. They did an exhaustive study, Brother Dino, with the Shorefront Legacy a foundation that really uncovered a lot of things in Evanston's backyard and said, look, we're going to take a percentage of that legal cannabis industry tax money revenue and use it to fund reparations initiatives in the city. And they started with the issue of housing. They earmarked $10 million over a 10-year period. They only started with 4%, $400,000. They have a long way to go, but they're doing community connections and input and all of those things. Chicago is really on the map, because several years earlier, it looked at police torture, again, in its own backyard. And on their own accord, decided, well, there needs to be a reckoning with respect to what happened with police abuse, police torture in our jurisdiction. And they called it a reparations ordinance, which passed, which provided direct payments to the victims of this police torture and their families. They provided free education for the survivors. It provided a requirement that the public schools in Chicago teach the history. And they talking about taking history out the schools now, right? Look, well, Chicago required the teaching of that period, that John Burge torture period in Chicago's history. And they set aside the vision for monuments and museums and creative expressions. Okay, so that's going on there. All over the country, again, people are doing that. Academic institutions are looking in their own backyard. Theological seminaries, the Princeton and Virginia theological seminaries have called for reparations. The Episcopal Church, dioceses of the Episcopal Church have called for reparations. The United Church of Christ, the United Methodist Church, the Union of Reformed Judaism. I did a huge presentation before them about a month or so ago. They've issued a resolution in support of reparations. Ben and Jerry's ice cream, y'all. Oh my goodness. They have not only supported reparations, they have challenged other corporations to step up to the plate, okay, and deal with reparations. Amalgamated Bank, okay, the largest union-based bank in this country, has come out in support of reparations. And the GU 272, Georgetown University, the reason that it stands today is because of the sale of those 272 Black men, women, and children, babies, infants, that were literally sold down the river to keep Georgetown University from going bankrupt. So the Jesuits have just earmarked, acknowledged $100 million to begin part of that process. So, this issue of reparations is an issue as time has come. It is pop, 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 like I said, all over the country. And, it's time to get on board. But, it's time to unify again, like we did back in the before the turn of the century, where we had all these disparate elements with respect to reparations, but we We came together because we had a goal. We are at a different point now. We really are. Because back then in the day, we were just trying to get people not to be scared to just utter the word reparations. I mean, it's not a bad word. Just say it. I mean, it is a well-established principle of international and domestic law. Reparations actually were paid at the end of the enslavement era. They just weren't paid to us. Reparations were paid to the former slave owners for their loss. The loss of us, the loss of their property, the DC Compensated Emancipation Act. Can you believe it? This was Abraham Lincoln, y'all. They got paid. We got screwed. I'm going to use that. They got paid. We got screwed. So we are in the midst right now of the 32nd annual conference of NCOBA, the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America. 32 years, y'all. Oh my God. And I was seeing from the beginning. Actually, I was there long before the beginning, but 32 years. And tomorrow, there's going to be a huge town hall meeting, Zoom, okay, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, Friday. Myself and my co-host, who's not on screen right now because he's in a hotel having some Wi-Fi issues. At least so he says he's having Wi-Fi. He's probably having a good time or whatever. Yeah, okay. But we're going to be co-hosting, co-moderating Slam Dunk Evening. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, the current sponsor of H.R. 40, will be in the house, will be speaking. Judge Greg Mathis, the TV judge. Oh, I just love him. He's going to be speaking. We also are going to have none other than the great, phenomenal Dr. Professor Greg Carr, chair of the Africana Studies Department at Howard University, co-host along with Karen Hunter of In Class with Carr. Don't miss it, but he will be speaking there as well. Alderman, they call him Alderman, even though she's a woman. I don't quite understand that, but Alderman Robin Wu Simmons, that bad sister from Evanston, Illinois, who I spoke of earlier, who creatively used the tax dollars to fund reparations proposals from their cannabis industry. She will be speaking. Our sister from England, Esther Stanford, I just can't wait for her to join the team. She will be speaking. My sister, I forgot her name, South Carolina. I don't have my thing in front of me because this was stream of consciousness, y'all. This was no notes. My sister lawyer, attorney from South Carolina is going to be there, and a couple of other folk as well. So in order to join, you can go to ncobaonline.org, NCOBRA, ncobaonline.org, and you can register for the conference. Now that's on Friday. On Saturday, registration covers it all. There's going to be Black youth and reparations. It's going to be like a intergenerational type of dialogue hosted by NCOBA Youth Commission co-chair Sister Lily X and Brother H.A. Jabbar. Don't miss that. So again, you can register for that at ncobaonline.org. ncobaonline.org. Yeah. So again, that's this weekend. Oh, let me mention something else. And I'm not going to hold you too much longer since we had some little techie issues, Wi-Fi issues earlier. But I got a TV show, y'all. The Black Power Hour, streaming live now on BOP TV, Black on Purpose TV. You can go to boptv.com and enter your subscription. But my launch show was on Juneteenth, and I was honored to have commissioners from National African American Reparations Commission join the show. I had Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Alderman, man, woman, okay, Alderperson, he, she, or Alderwoman, Robin Wu Simmons. Let me just stop. We need to edit this, y'all. Alderman Robert Simmons was part of the TV show. Reverend Mark Thompson was there. Economist Julia Malveaux, Reverend Dr. Ira Carruthers, and Dr. Ron Daniels. Yeah. So BOP TV. Now y'all might say, okay, Nkechi, I went to BOPTV.com and it said I gotta pay. Well, there is a subscription. And this launched on Juneteenth at a time when we should have been talking about buy black and all that kind of stuff. We're talking about the largest black owned and operated streaming network, TV streaming network in the world. Okay. And at first, I gotta be real honest. At first, I was saying, well, y'all just go on and subscribe and then watch my show and then you can cancel. I changed my mind. Don't cancel. I watch it. They got a lot of good stuff up in there. I mean, you just scroll through and look, and not only that, the commercials that they are all black folk. And it's like folk from the Caribbean, black folk from Europe. I mean, all over. And it's interesting commercials. I mean, I was sitting up there looking at the commercials, that were part of BOP TV, Black on Purpose TV. So go on and do that. The subscription is something like $12.99, something along those lines. But it is worth it. We talk about reparations. We talk about building our own. We talk about developing our community. We talk about Ujamaa to build, maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses and to profit together, from them. So check it out. Then got a show coming up. The next show is going to be on Marcus Garvey. The next show after that is going to be on Sundiata Acoli and political prisoners. We got a lot of great lineup. So again, Black on Purpose TV, and you click on Nkechi Taifa's hosting of the Black Power Hour. Now, y'all know where that Black Power Hour came from. I'm looking for my book. Well, anyway, yeah, let me do this. Whoops. Hope I got pants on. There we go. Bam! Bam! There we go. Okay, yeah, that's the poster for my memoir, Black Power, Black Lawyer, My Audacious Quest for Justice. Okay, so I think I'll just touch on one more thing and then we'll get ready to call it an evening. And hopefully next week, my co-host, Reverend Matsimela Thompson, will be back, so I don't have to feel like I'm foolish up in here. But yeah, I went to bed the other night and I woke up and there was a whole new federal holiday. I said, God dang, did I ask for the holiday? I mean, it's nice. I mean, one of the comedians who I saw, he said something to the effect of, it's kind of like, you order something from Amazon and the package comes, but it wasn't what you ordered, but it looks good. You're going to go and keep it. You ain't going to send it back to Amazon. You're going to keep it, but you still want that original order. So what was that original order? I wanted my reparations. I wanted some police accountability. I wanted to be free from voter suppression. I mean, these were the things that we were saying that we wanted, not necessarily a holiday, but we take the holiday. And I will say this. One of the things I discovered was that a federal holiday off cost the federal government about $350 to $450 million for that one day. $400 million for one day. You stretch that over 10 years, that's $400 billion over 10 years. And they say they ain't got no money to pay no reparations. Hello? But reparations is more than just a check, okay? The harms were multifaceted. Thus, the remedies must be multifaceted as well. Reparations can and should be in as many forms to be able to provide some type of repair, some type of jump start. And it's not just all about the economics. It's not just all about money. Repair comes in many, many different ways. Repatriation resources. All these folk going back to the continent. Well, that was one of the options we had after the enslavement period. Problem is, they expected us to drop in the ocean and swim naked, okay? So repatriation resources, land. Okay, you talk about all this stuff with the black farmers. I want some land right here, right now as well. Okay, yeah, I know. Negotiate with the native peoples, the first peoples and all. They ain't never really had no problem with this, We're not talking about doing what the Europeans did, okay? But don't whatever it is, our claims either. I mean, we built up this country. We worked and built it. We fought to survive on it. This is land also. Um, Policies, practices, monuments, museums, you can have all of that. Technology. We sure need some daggone technology here tonight. So all of that. So I think I'm going to close off by the Reverend Matsimela Mapfumo. This is some kind of thing called StreamYard. Not used to it. I'm used to my Zoom. So I think he's going to figure out how to tune me out of this. I hope we can edit this. I think it's live, but whatever. So again, this is Nkechi Taifa. This is Reparations Rap. And as you see, it's just stream of consciousness rap. Stream of consciousness, no script, as you can see, rambling. But just, kind of getting stuff off our chest. We don't have a lot of time to do that. Most of the time we're punching clocks, or we're running here, or we're running there. We're on Zooms and all like that. So this is just Reparations Rap. We have a guest sometimes as well. So this is Nkechi, and I think I see something that says leave studio. So I'm going to say this is Nkechi Taifa. Sign off. Get my book, blackpowerbblacklawyer.com/book. Get it from your favorite bookstore. The African American Literature Book Club, AALBC, Sankofa Books. I got on my website a list of over 100 Black bookstores you can get it from. And, if you want to, continue to make other people rich, you can always get it from Amazon. They'll have it there as soon as you click the submit button or whatever, it'll be on your doorstep. But no, AALBC, they kind of go fast too and all like that. So that's all, folk. Reparations now. Nkechi out. I'm hitting leave.